allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 8th August 2020 Darien Planning Board meeting. Glenn, I guess we're going to waive the reading of the minutes from last month. Board members, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Jay, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Brandon, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting minutes are approved. Okay, first on the docket, Glen Laban, Dollar Creek special use permit.
Okay, I'll start off here. Mr. Laban's here with us tonight. We have an application for a special use permit for a gambrel roof barn that will be intended to be used as a rental hall or a gathering hall for banquets and wedding receptions. Get it up on the map here. You've got a copy, the large map that you have up there is the engineered site plan, which is a basic outline of how the proposed project will set on the site. And you look up on the top here, just for reference, you got Freedom Fellowship here. This is Broadway. This will be parcel right here. The proposed project will sit up in this area in here. And then I'll let you, Glenn, if you want to, just present your application and give just a real brief overview.
Okay. We're planning on building, I think Jerry summed it up pretty well, a dump barn, which is going to be a product capacity of 220 people and the associated parking spaces for it. Currently, I think there was 7 copies of the site plan that was issued to Jerry with the application there, and I think it was distributed to who was needed to be in the know. Is there any questions? Do anybody has specifically about it?
Where's this, Jerry, right on Broadway?
Yeah, if you look, you can see where the red line is a commercial district where that starts. So we're looking to the left of the screen would be west, and then we're looking on the south side of Broadway. So this would be Freedom Fellowship here. This would be Comfort Dog Kennel here, and then this is Laban's property all through here. This parcel's been subdivided out, and this is where they propose to put the rental hall. So for the special use permit application, we have a whole list of criteria under rental hall provision, which we have in our zoning, which we'll have to go over when we get to that point. This would have to go to county to start with. So the rental hall, as it stands now, would seat about 220. So we've been talking with them for a couple of years now. We had to get some zoning laws in place in order for this to even occur, because we didn't have anything to allow for this type of an activity. So essentially, it's going to be a banquet facility or a rental hall. There'll be no food prepared on site. The food will be catered and brought in, so it's strictly going to be, there won't be any commercial kitchen or anything associated with it. So it'll be strictly a rental hall venue. The engineered site plan is taking into account some parking, where the structure is going to sit on the parcel. Of course, Genesee County is going to have to sign off on septic. They're going to have a well because there's no commercial water or municipal water available there. They're going to have to be going through, they're going to be presenting a variance through New York State on the sprinkler system. To get a variance on the installation of the sprinkler system, that's already been, we already have the documentation in place to go forward with that. So at this point, they're applying for the special use permit, and I think I included with you, with the application, a copy of our rental hall zoning, so we can discuss that. But at this point, that next month we would have the public hearing and the planning board process for that, and at that point we can address all of the bullet points that we go through with the special use process.
How big is the actual building?
52 by 60. The main building is actually 40 by 60, and then there's a 12-foot lean-to off the side. What was that?
How many square feet?
The exact square footage is, hold on,
It's on here, goes to 60 by 52 by
60 by
3,120 square feet,
Yeah,
correct?
that's fair.
And for the special use, for the next meeting too, I think we have a lot of the paperwork that shows the outline, what the building, the proposed building is gonna look like. You've designed the building to look like a gambrel barn that appeared on your family's property at some point in the past, correct?
That's correct. It used to be the barn that was at 400, or 460 Broadway. Basically the same design as that barn.
But it'll be all new construction.
That's neat.
I'll make a motion for the county.
Motion by Jay to forward the county, board members, anyone ever have any other questions at this time, or no?
Nope.
All right, take a motion to forward the county planning. Motion by Jay, can I have a second?
One second.
Second by Sean. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, we'll forward on the county planning. Then we'll have set up our public hearing next month here at, what, 7:45?
What's the date?
21st of September.
21st?
Thank you.
Jerry, I mean, this drawing, this is just, sketch drawings, right? I mean, there's no septic system plan or anything else here, right?
No, that's basically just the layout, the contours of the property, and where the driveway would go and where it would be in relation to the property lines. The septic system is just a rendering that would have to be laid out by Genesee County.
Yeah, basically a pre-substantial septic system.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
same thing with a well, they're gonna have to have well.
yeah. Are there paving requirements for zoning or no?
Yeah, Joe and I talked about that a little bit. There are hard surface parking requirements. And there would be some, we've already, just as a cursory discussion, talked to them, or very least, they have to be at least paid for parts of that parking lot, with handicap accessibility and that type of stuff, so.
Right.
So as far as the extent of that, we haven't gotten that far into yet, but, there's a few pages of bullet points that we put together in our zoning provisions that we should address for the building.
Yeah.
Everything from noise and lighting to buffering from the neighboring parcels for traffic coming in and out. You're gonna have to get DOT, permission from the DOT for driving cut and all that, so.
The parcel that sits behind, is that your family property as well?
Yep, that's to the south and to the north, both my parents' parcels.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, to the north might be Hoskins. That pasture that sits directly across, I think it's Hoskins, and then my parents is a little bit
Yeah,
further.
Clay Hoskins owns across the road on the north side. That's gonna bring that down.
Okay. All right, Mr. Latham, we'll see you next month.
All right, thank you, I
Thank
appreciate
you for
that.
coming in.
I'll be a good night.
You too. Okay, Craig Silver, what's use permit?
Mr. Silver, just putting a special use permit for a pond up on Chick Road, and bring that up. Get over there. And it's just a small pond, it's just to help, control runoff and to move a small stream so that you can build a house. Okay, if you look at my screen, let's see. So this parcel is a small square parcel here, building lot there, a couple acre lot. So that lot right there, you can see there's just basically just a ditch. And it's just a shallow ditch. It's not a rated stream of any kind. It's dry most of the year. Basically just controls runoff from the backfield. And he bought this parcel to build a house on it. And essentially all he's gonna do is pull that stream to the south side of the property line and move it slightly, and then he just wants to put a small pond in there just to catch the water and control the runoff. And I believe he said it was like 30 by 70. He's not here tonight, so.
Hello?
Hi, how are you? Good. Mr. Silver, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. How big is this pond? I forget, we didn't have to get the dimensions, but.
Yeah, I'm over there, looking at it, because we have to put it back 50 feet from the road, from the property line there in front. So it's probably gonna be in the neighborhood of 40 by 40.
And how deep, do you think?
Maybe 10 to 12 feet.
That's almost gonna be impossible to do, but you're gonna make it back straight like that.
Yeah, it's gonna have to go like that,
Yeah. You got 3-on-1, you got 30 feet before you get down to 10.
Right, yeah, I can't go gradual.
Yeah.
Yeah, his issue is he's gotta stay 50 feet off of the front line. And he's trying to get that ditch moved so that he can have some room to build on that lot.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much dry majority of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's dry right now, it's been raining a lot. When it rains, the water flows through a little bit. But winter, spring, it's flowing through,
I don't have any issues with it. Board members, anyone have any issues?
I don't have.
Not, or take a motion to send it on to county planning.
Go ahead, I'll make it.
Motion by Jay, to send to county planning. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Brandon, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we'll have a public hearing next month, Mr. Silver, and, what's, Jerry, we're allowed to make them, what, 5 minutes apart?
They can be 10 minutes apart. The other one you had at 7:45, so if you wanted, you could probably do this one at 7:35,
Yeah,
because this won't take that long.
yeah. We'll set your public hearing at 7:35. Next month here.
September 21st.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna forward it to county planning. County planning, I don't see any reason why they would deny it, but they'll review it.
Yeah,
And then they'll send it back to us, and then we'll have a public hearing here. All your neighbors will be notified, and if anyone has any interest, they're welcome to show up.
okay,
And then if not, we'll get it done that night.
okay. And in the meantime, if I get out there and measure around and get more precise with it and find out that it's 40 by 50 or whatever.
Yeah, you're well under the 1 acre threshold.
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
careful, just staying under stay within your property line, correct, Jerry?
So if I stay 50 feet back and less than an acre?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
If you go over an acre, then you can get with DEC guidelines.
oh, yeah, that'll never happen.
Yeah, it never does.
Okay,
That's it for tonight.
all right, well, thank you very much.
We'll see you next month.
Okay.
All right, goodbye.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. Okay, Wayne Snyder land separation. Simple one, huh, Jerry?
Yep.
Let me put that up on the map there. Basically, what Mr. Snyder's doing is separating out a lot for his son to build a house on. So He owns this lot here, this big lot that's got a pond on it. He also owns this tiny little sliver up by the road here. So what he did was this small piece has already been merged into the larger piece, and I've got confirmation of that from Genesee County Office of Real Property. So he came in, I told him, I said, you gotta merge those two parcels. That's medium density, or low density residential there. So he's gotta build a second house there. So he merged those two parcels, and then he's splitting off, building lot in the front. So, actually, that's medium density residential there in the front, road frontage there, where that red line is, that's medium density residential. So, he doesn't have to have 300 feet of frontage. So he's gonna have more than enough frontage, he's gonna separate out a 250 by 240 foot lot here for his son to build a ranch house on. And both lots are compliant. And so he's just looking for a land separation. And if you approve the land separation, then he's gonna have it surveyed, and we'll bring the Mylar in, and then he'll file.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the land separation for Mr. Snyder. Motion.
Yeah, I got three cards.
Right. It's been 6 months since I seen you, I'm sorry. Motion by Ron. Don. Second by Jay. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, land separation is approved.
I apologize, John. I won't do that again.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm like my dad, he does it constantly.
Okay, last on the docket is David Fenninger, special use permit.
Okay, Mr. Fenninger couldn't be here tonight, he got his shift change at work, so I told him I would lay out the information. Mr. Fenninger and his wife currently own 9864 Fargo Road. Now, this house, they are renting it to own, so basically they're paying rent to own the house, so they'll be purchasing the house. So they're planning on staying there. He currently works for a company, and they provide roadside service to heavy equipment, and he's a mechanic. And what he wants to do is he wants to start his own business. So essentially, he's looking to start a formal, legitimate business out of his house. He's gonna have a home office. He's gonna have a service truck. So he needs a special use permit to run the business out of his home. But essentially, the only thing that's actually gonna be in the house is they're going to convert some unused closet space to a home office. He's gonna be the worker, his wife's gonna do the books for him. And the only thing that's gonna be actually conducted on site is he's gonna have a service truck that's parked on the lot in his home. So, no different than a plumber or somebody working for Verizon bringing the truck home. So, but he's going about it, and it's gonna be a fully legitimate business, and, he needs to have the permit from the town.
Good for him.
Yep.
I'll entertain a motion to forward to county planning.
Motion.
Motion by Brian, can I have a second? Second by Jay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? I will set his public hearing for 7:55. Next month.
All right, I'll let him know.
Okay, moving right along. Okay, you wanna talk about the battery energy storage law today?
Yeah, battery energy storage laws, is we went through and, put into our zoning law a year and a half or so ago, if I remember correctly, zoning laws for commercial solar projects. So the big solar arrays that feed into the grid, they're not just the personal ones, they're commercial. So we put the commercial solar energy law in place, And at that time, over the last couple of code update cycles or the yearly updates that we do through our training, they talked about these battery energy storage units. Now, battery energy storage units, for the most part, they build them inside these 53-foot containers that they bring in on a truck. They're completely self-contained. They got their own safety systems, fire suppression systems, alarm systems, and they can bring in, and they can put one container in a site, or they can come in and they can daisy chain them together depending on how much storage capacity they want. The battery technology's gotten good enough that as these wind systems and as these solar systems produce energy, they can only produce energy during the daylight hours or when the wind's blowing. So part of the problem with the renewable energy is they can't feed the grid during the downtime. Well, battery technology's gotten good enough that they're augmenting a lot of these commercial solar systems with these battery energy storage units, which they place either on site with them or near them. And they'll feed and charge the batteries, and then when the sun's not shining, they can feed power to the grid during the off hours. So that essentially is what it is. The systems are all pre-engineered. They basically are self-contained. So I had looked at that, and I'd actually started, just like with the commercial stuff, New York State and NYSERDA, they put out a lot of training on these things. They have model energy laws for them. They have model template laws. They have model inspections. They got a whole pile of stuff that they put out. So I actually started looking at this law. The town attorney presented to the supervisor basically the law as you see it here. So it was put together through our attorney's office. He recommended that we evaluate that and consider adding it to our zoning law. And it worked out great because it was something that I've been working on also. And essentially, we're all doing the same thing. We take the templates, and then we look at you look at your own zoning law, and then you kind of tweak the template to fit the language of your zoning law, and as far as things like how you want to, if you want bonds on them, if you want host community benefit agreement, all of the little unique things that go along with your laws. So he did that so the supervisor passed it on and said, have the planning board review that and look at it. I've got all kinds of information if anybody's interested. What I did with this is the attorney wrote it up. So I took the model template law and I sat down with his law and the stuff I'd worked on, and I looked at the model template laws and I looked at where the discrepancies were. So really what's been done is he's cleaned up, he's eliminated language that was duplicitous. In other words, it appeared in our zoning law already and also there, so he got rid of the extra language. He streamlined and cleaned up some of the, like in the model energy law, there was 3-tier systems of battery storage units. The first tier is really just the residential stuff, like if you had an electric car, you got a battery unit on the wall. That stuff's already covered under the uniform code and the electrical codes as they're written. So we didn't need all of that extra language in there because it gets to be too much. So he took some of that out, streamlined it, added a couple of definitions that we needed to pertain to our zoning law that we didn't have in place, and essentially put it all together for us. Like I said, I went through it word by word. I looked at it. I think you got some of the handouts to show how these storage units come. The nice thing with these is you don't have to worry about them when they get to their end of life. It's not like a windmill or some of these other things where you have to worry about how they're going to come down. When the batteries become obsolete or don't have enough storage capacity, they basically come in, put them on a truck, and they take them out. They'll rehab them someplace. They'll bring another unit in and replace it. Some of these units are already around, and I understand there's 3 or 4 of them already in the downtown Buffalo area. I don't know where they're at, but I've been told they're around. And other areas, they put them out right out with the power grids. I'm sure out in the west, they're all over the place. We're starting to see them come into the Northeast, and there are some in the western part of the state. So anyway, so what we need to do now, the planning board, if you have any concerns, questions, or anything, ask them. If you have any recommendations or things that you think shouldn't be in here or things that we should add, now is your time to make a recommendation. And once you make a recommendation, it'll go back to the town board, and then it goes through the town board. And the town board does the public hearing and stuff on the local law. as far as vetting by the attorney, he really wrote it, so
So they want our response by when, next month?
whenever you deem it appropriate, there's no timeline really attached with it.
I don't know, like, what, next month? So review it? That sounds, get it done with, right?
Sure.
Okay.
These are just for commercial, Jerry?
What's that?
These storage units are just commercial?
Yes,
Are they,
yeah, they're for commercial power generators. They're for the big solar arrays.
so each one can be up to 600 kW?
Yeah, I haven't looked at this
That's a
one
lot.
in a couple days, but
That's good.
yeah, even,
But they gotta connect them to the grid, isn't it gonna be the same problem I get with solar?
you gotta have capacity, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, National Grid's gotta have capacity to take it.
There's some huge solar farms.
The connection might kill them.
I'm bidding that one right now, 1,000 acres.
Yeah, yeah, they're getting big.
Yeah.
And there's been, there's been, a couple phone calls of interest in seeing, not anything like 1,000 acres, but there's some interest in commercial solar. And we have land around here to do it, so I think we need to have the laws in place to have them there, because if we don't, then we're gonna be behind the ball.
Do most people do like a host community agreement or no? Most towns?
Yeah, I haven't looked at it this month. When I sat down, looked at it, that language is in there. So I'll read it word for word when we get ready to send it back to the town board. But
Okay.
yeah, we looked at the decommissioning host, community host benefit agreement. There's provisions in there for us to provide training for the local responders so they know, where the disconnects and shut-offs are, and there's fencing requirements and buffers and, noise and, all that stuff.
Okay. Training item, special use permitting review.
What is that?
If anybody needs any more information, there's a whole pile of stuff in New York State that's available. I can send you the website, or I can get you a copy of whatever anybody, anybody wants information, it's there, it's out there.
Okay.
Has anybody approached us on this stuff already?
No,
Do you have any permits on this?
no. We got no permits for commercial, solar energy. The wind project got full, so that's gone. But I've had two inquiries as to if we have zoning laws for commercial solar, for commercial power generation, so. But they're just, like I said, they're inquiries, I get them all the time, people are just calling to find out, what you have, so if they start looking at the viability of a project, they know if they can do it or not.
So the wind project is dead? I didn't know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I think we scared them last time when we said it was down for
Yeah, something changed. and-
It's true.
Yeah.
Every time you go by all the time, they're all.
Yeah, one's working, one's
No,
not.
Yeah.
oh, that's been broken, well, that's all broken.
Yeah.
They, because it was just kind of sitting out there, so,
Yeah.
they got in touch with them and they said that they're pulling out from it. So,
That's good, I guess.
so
Okay,
they withdrew.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll do that.
Motion by Jay, second by Sean. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Meeting's adjourned.